Movie Time is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. Further details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.com.
The award-winning It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Linda Baas McClelland.
And this is
It's Movie Time.
All right, Linda, I see we have our traveling hats on.
Yes.
We must be going somewhere. How about Vienna?
We're going to Vienna.
Now, there's a film out called Woman in Gold. What's that all about?
Oh, it's probably one of the most compelling, gratifying movies I've seen in a long time.
Oh, wow.
Once again, the versatile Helen Mirren gives a very classy, dignified, believable performance. She's glue. She is the glue that holds the movie together. She plays the Austrian Jewish Holocaust refugee Maria Altman. And this extraordinary true story of social injustice focuses on Maria's battle to reclaim artwork stolen from her affluent Jewish family in Austria by the Nazis.
All right, and so we've seen, we saw Monuments Men.
Right.
So we know what the restoration business is about in getting back those paintings that were stolen. So that to me seems like boilerplate. Okay, so we know. So you and I could put together the script for this thing. So you're suggesting that Mirren is really the centerpiece of this. Otherwise, not cliched, but in some senses, schmaltzy. For instance, the weakness of the film is, to me, Ryan Reynolds. Maybe, in fact.
When we were introduced to him, supposedly a friend of hers recommends that she hire this young...
Yeah, he's an old family friend.
Yeah, this young lawyer struggling.
Randall Schoenberg, grandson of Arnold Schoenberg.
Exactly, he was an Austrian composer.
Right, yeah, terrific. So it just seems to me, I think he looks cute in his little glasses. He's playing an underachieving attorney. And she gets him to buy into and eventually become
she wants him to look over papers just to see if she's got a fighting chance to get this artwork back. The funny thing, the first thing I thought of when I saw him in the movie was, he doesn't look Jewish, but he was such a nerdy guy that he really didn't work for me. But
I'll tell you, I think their interaction is pretty good.
Exactly. I was going to say, I started to warm up to him as he became more involved in the case and more of an advocate for her cause.
Look at the more of a centerpiece than Helen Mirren is the painting itself by Klimt, and it's the Austrian Mona Lisa, the Woman in Gold, otherwise known as. Did you put down the title anywhere?
Well,
the real title.
The real title was the portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer,
one. Because there actually were two, but this is the first one and the famous one.
Okay, this is the first. That's right. Yeah. But this Adele Bloch-Bauer is Maria's beloved aunt, and I think that's why she is so involved in wanting to get this painting back. It just isn't a portrait of this beautiful woman, but it's every memory that she has of her family is in this painting.
I know, and it's been hanging for 60 years. In the Belvedere Palace in Vienna. It's become a national treasure, the Mona Lisa of Austria. It's a complicated business because here's a whole nation that puts its soul into a painting that it, at least as Mirren's character would tell us, doesn't belong to them. And yet she is going to wrest it from them and attempt to wrest it. And they're going to go all the way to our Supreme Court and then back to Austria to try to fight for this painting.
Yeah.
And so I think there's some good conflict in there, and there's some issues never confronted here about really the propriety or the morality of it all.
Right. And that was my one criticism of the movie, that they did not recognize how complicated this issue would have really been.
Yes.
And it's probably a good thing that they did not go into so much detail, or it would have become very tedious. And they didn't want it, I don't think, to become a legal drama. It was more focused on her.
It does a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, but when you get Jonathan Pryce as as the Chief Justice. I'm in for that.
Yeah, and Elizabeth
Right,
McGovern. That was pretty
plays
cool.
one of the judges. Yeah, so you have some of these good character
Right.
actors coming in and out.
Yeah.
You also have some, I think, beautiful cinematography in
Oh,
Vienna.
the movie takes off for me when the young lawyer talks Maria into going back to Vienna, which she did not want to do. But they go back there, and then the movie just soars. You get all these flashbacks of her childhood and this beloved Jewish family, very opulent apartment or whatever you'd want to call it. Very lively family. And you see the painting hanging in their home. And then it just is, it's very magical for me.
Well, and also in my perverse way, I love seeing Nazis. and any movie you have them, I'm all get excited.
Oh, we love to hate them.
We do, and I think I'm trying to think what my attraction is to them. First of all, their uniforms are just so darn.
Oh, they're always so puffed
up.
up.
And they are so full of themselves. They're so cocksure, and it's the one time when you look at it and say, I know they're going down. They are going down. And
Right.
So you can look at evil and say, okay, we know it's going to get it. But anyway, so they're here with their black cars and their shiny boots, and so that's kind of
But
cliched.
again, heart-wrenching because you see them again tormenting these Viennese Jews, abusing children, and it's just heart-wrenching.
Yeah, and it is also a little bit schmaltzy sometimes. The scene that I really like is when young Maria is separating from her parents, going to escape in an improbable
Right.
escape, a typical Hollywood running through the streets.
Right,
To
but
escape
it's
the
riveting
Nazis.
and heartbreaking when she says goodbye to her
I
parents.
know.
And she knows she'll never see them
I know,
again.
and I think it tends right to the over sentimentalized, but I liked it too. So the movie does have some of that simple sympathy
Right.
that goes with it, and I like your comment. I think it really is a much more complicated business than the film presents.
Right.
Yeah. But if you like to see justice triumph, and that was one of her purposes, not only to get the painting back for the family, but also to have justice.
Right.
And one of the interesting complications of the film is that the Austrians don't come off very well.
No.
Let's talk about the Nazis. Well, look at the Austrians.
Right. Well, there was one Austrian journalist, I think, that was on her side.
Yes,
She
right.
tried to help her cause.
That was played by Daniel Bruhl, and that's Hubertus Cernan.
Don't you love those
I
names?
love it, but he was a little bit unbelievable too.
Right.
But anyway, you had to have that sympathetic Austrian, and then you had the Austrians who were fighting to
Right.
keep
Yeah.
the painting, and so you have a kind of good versus evil, simple. But look, in the end, it's like to me, it's like the best exotic Marigold hotel.
Oh, God. Really?
Well.
Hardly.
All right, and you're right. It is an absurd comparison, but for me, there's a feel in that you want to see it. You're enjoying it. You're enjoying India. All of that is a little too clean, a little too simple.
There weren't many cars on the streets of Vienna, but
Not
that
yet
was
either.
okay.
I wondered if it was a set. I didn't want to.
No,
But anyway, yes.
beautiful.
So it's been reduced in a sense
Right.
for our pleasure because
Right.
it's much easier for us to. But in the end, you're right too. It's an enjoyable
Oh,
movie.
totally.
Linda Baas McClelland, you know where we are.
I know where I am.
We can talk about it, but we have to affix a grade to it.
Right.
And I'm going to ask you to award a grade to Woman in Gold, starring Helen Mirren.
Well, it was also personally rewarding for me because I've actually seen the real painting in the new museum in New York City a few years ago, and it is dazzling.
Yeah.
It truly is. And I completely enjoyed this movie.
Good.
So I gave it a B.
Oh, all right. And as you add your little. You don't just do your grade. You kind of give a little extra on there. I'll let everybody know, but there's no secret. Estee Lauder Corporation paid $135 million for this to be put in that museum.
Ooh.
Okay, but anyway, that's
I didn't
the
know
worth of the worth of the painting was $135 million.
Right.
Astonishing. But that was not her purpose.
No.
But anyway, and all of that was dispersed, And it is, I presume, currently in New York, and that's
I think it's still there, yes.
anyway, that's a long way around, since
Right.
you go a long way around, for my awarding it a B also.
Oh my golly.
All right, Lenny, let's get a whole group together and let's go to Vienna.
Okay.